Evening, folks. SOS Conversations for another week. We start off with what is the best whippersnipper head and what is the best whippersnipper cord. So for all you backyard grooming junkies out there, let us know. Me, I use a Makita and something else. I don't know what it is actually really. But we've got one with a chopper blade that chops off the legs of small humans. Joking. As well as one with a cord. But, you know, just as long as you use it properly, keep it serviced. And if you have one with a battery, make sure the batteries are charged. You can't go wrong. That's just my opinion, and I know stuff all about gardening tools. The next one is depression. All right, and you know, most of us have been bitten by the black dog once or twice or three times or many times in our lifetime, and it's something that we have to think about. So we spoke about depression in a couple of our groups, and then we also spoke about what tools do we use. So some of us indicate that they like to talk about having depression. Others like to say they like to get online and chat about it. Others say face to face. But there's others that just like to that just work it out for themselves. And if you have a way to deal with it, just let people know. Especially if you know that they're looking a bit off, or not as chatty or not as engaging as they were previously. If people know that you've suffered from it, they'll appreciate your input. Okay. The next subject is Monaro Women's Rugby League, and they are the Southern Conference champs, which means they play the Northern Conference champs in next weekend at Leichhardt. So not this weekend, not tomorrow, because today's Friday, but the following Saturday, or the following weekend, they play Newcastle Maitland, and it should be an absolute cracker. One person in particular to watch is a young lady by the name of Maddy Tooth. Simply outstanding with the ball, without, just has the attitude to, go the distance, as they say in professional sports. So, keep an eye out, because, I can't guarantee, because no one can guarantee anything really, but she is good. SOS Chats, we've had a couple of conversations about when they're going to start, and they're going to start next month. As I've said all the time, these are just conversations with just everyday people who you'll probably pass in the street from time to time, just to let you know about their experiences, in dealing with their mental health and, how they get around it. The first one I'll actually talk about me, because, it's a very boring subject, but it'll basically set the tone for what we're going to cover, okay? On top of that is difficulty creates opportunities. So you don't always have to have a hard session when you go to the gym, but every single time when you walk into a gym, it shouldn't be an easy session either. So that's something that we need to think about, not so much if you train here, because, we do tend to push people a little bit harder. Harder's probably not the right word, but we do sort of create some difficulty in clients' lives, in particular our groups and our one-on-one clients, to sort of just push the boundaries and, find out what their body is capable of. Because, difficulty creates opportunities. And when you overcome a difficult situation, you have opportunity to just step that little bit further past where you were before. Food is always a topic of conversation here at the school, and this week we had a conversation around what is your go-to breakfast. Mine? Well, if I'm out, bacon, eggs, spinach, tomato, mushrooms, you name it, I try to put on a plate. And probably very similar, when I'm at home and, my darling wife says, you need to eat. which she never does because I'm always eating. But, you know, what's your go-to breakfast? It's always interesting just to hear what other people say. Some people say 3 fried eggs, other people say muesli, other people say oatmeal, and some people say cereal. And there's no right or wrong answer here because it's what you go. It's a simple thing that you go to every morning for breakfast, okay? And there's no right or wrong answer, so please don't tell people that you need to eat this for breakfast, when in reality you don't, okay? Another topic of conversation that we have here, or that we've had here this week, is why do you exercise? Now, if you're like the majority of the clientele who come in, you know, and I don't like using the word all, but nearly everyone who comes here exercises to blow off some cobwebs, get their headspace a bit clearer, to have a bit of a giggle, have a bit of a laugh, and to feel strong. Because, you know, everyone deserves the right to feel strong. Me personally, I just like to train because the way it just makes me feel in my body and in my brain. And I know that it's good for me, all right? I don't exercise to see how many calories I can burn because, you know, exercise shouldn't be about that. However, and as always, if you exercise to burn calories, fill your boots, all right? Fill your boots. And the last topic of conversation is stroke, all right? And for everybody who doesn't know, there is an acronym, all right? And the acronym is face, arms, speech, and time, or in other words, FAST. So if you feel like someone's having a stroke, check their face, check their arms, see if they can hold both arms up, check their speech, see if their speech is slurred, and most importantly, time. The quicker you can get them to a doctor or a hospital, the better off they will be. All right, so that's another conversation here at SOS. Have a very good week, folks. Peace out.